Hi, I'm Barbara Rimkunis, and this is your Exeter History Minute. Today we're going to talk about lighting. We're filming this pretty close to the winter solstice when we only have about 9 hours of daylight here in New Hampshire. So we're turning on the lights pretty early in the afternoon. Now, I'm sure our ancestors managed to squeeze a few more hours of productive time by the light of the fireplace, but just like us, they needed light during these dark months. The earliest people here used rushlights, pine knots, and small oil lamps if they really needed light. The Europeans who arrived here in the early 1600s probably used some of those, but they also brought candles with them. Candles could be made of any waxy substance. The first thing that comes to mind for most of us is beeswax, like this one. It burned cleanly, didn't smell too bad, but there's just not a lot of beeswax out there. Beeswax candles were mostly used in churches. In fact, I borrowed this from one of the local churches. More often, candles were made from tallow, which is made from the rendered fat of cattle or sheep. Tallow candles could be either dipped or molded in something like this. The molded ones were more uniform and burned a lot better. Pretend this is a tallow candle, it's actually paraffin. It was also possible in New England to make candles out of bayberry. Bayberries grow wild here, and if you boil them down, they produce a wax that smells real nice, unlike tallow candles, and burned a lot cleaner than them. But it takes a lot of bayberries to make wax. I've read everything from 4 to 12 pounds of bayberries for a pound of wax. You can, however, take the bayberry wax to make your tallow candles smell a little better. So there's that. Most people used candles until the early 1800s when whaling gets big. Now, if you're interested in whaling industry, read Moby Dick, because it's pretty much a textbook. Candles could be made of the spermaceti, which is rendered whale oil from the sperm whale, or you could just burn the oil. Oil-burning lamps came into use at about this time. This is a whale oil lamp right here. You can tell that it's a whale oil lamp because of the double-wicked burner. It's a dead giveaway. Whale oil lamps and candles ruled for about 30 years. The next phase in lighting history are fluid lamps. These burned a fluid called camphene, a mixture of turpentine, quicklime, and alcohol. Like whale oil lamps, they usually have multiple wicks, but the housing was longer and there were little caps to keep the liquid from evaporating. As you're probably guessing, these were really dangerous. Kerosene lamps came into use around the time of the Civil War. They looked like these ones, or they may have looked like this. They either had a flat wick in the center or a central chimney wick. This is a Standard Oil Company Rayo lamp from the early 1900s. Also in the 1860s came the arrival of gas lighting. The Exeter Gas Light Company incorporated in 1861 with the construction of the gas plant on Green Street. The gas it produced was made from coal. To get people to accept the new technology, the gas company agreed to light up the town's streets and the town hall. When the new public library was built in 1893, gas lights were installed inside the building, this building. Check out the light fixture. Philip Exeter Academy seems to have jumped on board installing gas lights in the dorms. This is the interior of a reading room in the 1890s brochure. You can see how clumsy it was to have to attach a long gas hose to a table lamp. Most people were hesitant to bother, considering you could just plop an oil lamp in the middle of a table. Gas lights did have their supporters, though. They were, after all, much brighter, and gas could be adapted for cooking and heating as well. In 1897, there was a small explosion at the gas plant. No one was badly injured, but there was considerable damage to the building. People began to wonder if maybe gas was just a bit too dangerous. Entering the scene at just this time was a brand new form of lighting, electric lighting. There was nothing new about electric power. The telegraph wires had arrived with the railroad in the 1840s, but it hadn't been well adapted for lighting until the arrival of the practical incandescent bulb in the 1880s. When the Exeter-Hampton Street Railway was built in 1897, coincidentally the same year as the gas plant explosion, it brought with it the promise of electricity for town and private use. The company proposed lighting the town streets with clean, efficient, safe electricity. A bidding war ensued, and electricity won out. Within a few years, most of the town was lit by electricity provided by the Exeter-Hampton Electric Company. The gas-lit town hall converted over in 1908. The library followed shortly thereafter, and the old gas light in front of the building seen here just disappeared. The old gas lights that we used to see in town were replaced by electric lights. The use of electric lighting led to the electrification of everyday life. So many things could be run by electricity: irons, coffee pots, washers, waffle irons, refrigerators. It was a great new world. Gas continued to be used for cooking and heating, but its days of lighting had pretty much ended. Charge up your laptop. and enjoy more Exeter history at www.exeterhistory.org. The fire department would probably like you to remember, be careful with candles. This Exeter History Minute has been brought to you by Unitil, which provides gas and electric service to everyone formerly serviced by the Exeter Hampton Electric Company and the Exeter Gas Company.